Yo, what's up everybody? It's Korak here. I'm back in the game for some Mythic Plus in 10.2 Dragonflight of World of Warcraft. So I wanted to share with you guys how I approach my keys. I very much like the playstyle of the disease build in particular. I pretty straightforward using the default Mythic Plus disease build. Thanks to Bites Pump for all the effort and explaining stuff. Yeah, in terms of talents, you can maybe swap a few things if you like, depends on the key. Like I've seen some people go with anti-magic zone instead of improved death strike, something like this. If you really need it, you can even go for the upgrade, sacrificing your Unholy Bond. You can maybe take Asphyxiate, but yeah, that's for maybe scenarios with a team, mostly pugging like myself. You just go with the default Mythic Plus disease build. Its idea is to keep our dots up all the time, buff them up, get Magus of the Dead. I'll show you just in a second in a 21 plus 2 Everbloom run I did myself. In terms of gear, there are plenty of good stuff right now, and it's very easy to get high item level set pieces even without raiding. I don't currently raid Mythic, but like I got these from the vault. I've opened 3 or 4 vaults so far, and yeah, as you see, it's 482 item level. I'm using Mirror of Fracture Tomorrows, but of course you can go with Might of the Ocean, Accelerating Sunglass, Core Crusted Butcher's Block, and yeah, try to get as higher item level weapon as you can. There's a legendary waiting for all of us. Hope to get it anytime soon, but yeah, let's hop into the run. So you can pre-use Army of the Dead, like I just did. You get a little bit of value from it, some ghouls spawning at the beginning of your run. So we're gonna run here and do a massive pull with Bloodlust. It's, as you can see, Fortified, Entangling, Bolstering. Bolstering kinda sucks in this dungeon, but we somehow managed it with only one wipe. So the idea is to keep track of Plaguebringer. Like as I mentioned, we do most of our damage through our dots, so we have to buff them to occur 100% more quickly. This is every time when you press Scourge Strike. So when you open a pack, the first thing you do is just click one Scourge Strike, like no wounds pre-applied to blow them or anything, just one tap Scourge Strike to get the buff going. Then you drop your Defile. And as you can see, I track it right here. It gives you a lot of mastery plus the ability to cleave when you Scourge Strike. Just send all your cooldowns, like Army of the Dead. I mean, from time to time I tend to keep it maybe for a boss fight or a pack that I will know it's very hard, but it's overall for the overall damage done, it's not worth it to only keep it for bosses. Just send it, and of course Apocalypse, Dark Transformation, and like all your other 1 minute cooldowns, just send them, and then keep track of your Plaguebringer and Defile. And you do massive AoE. You can see on our rotation here. Yeah, Outbreak to have all the dots if you didn't do it with Unholy Blight. And everything just melted. We're doing like 1 million plus DPS here. And yeah, I've seen up to 2 millions with PI and augmentation and a huge bow. Yeah, I forgot to battle pot here. But it's not big of an issue. So as you see, we go into this pack, and I go one Scourge Strike, I grip some mats, Defile, and I start to dump Runic Power into Epidemics, cleave with Scourge Strikes without ever pre-applying wounds. It's not necessary for this build. Like you only do it in single target scenarios. Of course, you can let Defile expire. If you're at the end of the pack, you have 2 charges, so most of the time you will be able, but the idea is it also has to tick the mobs, so you can keep your buff up. If you need a lot of movement, sometimes it's pretty fucked up. That Defile actually hides some area effects for you, and you can step in something you shouldn't. So yeah, like you see, like here I run away from the entanglement, and it's fine to, if you have the runic power and spam epidemic, you're still doing a lot of damage even without being in the Defile. So don't just the whole time watch these two buffs. By the way, I'm gonna put my wiki hours under the video so I can download it as well. Priest just got one shot from the bowstring at. Then we go next to the next pack. So as you see, as we run, I just press one time Scourge Strike, then like double outbreak because the diseases didn't get like all the ads. Unholy Blight is optimal just to spread the dots when you gather them, but I did like pre-dot while we were moving before gathering them all. Abomination Limbs helps a lot, of course, or if you run with a DH tank, the mass grip is very nice, so you don't lose globals and runes to apply the outbreak. Yeah, I just noticed I actually didn't use Apocalypse on the last pull, which I would say was a miss. Whenever you have them, just use them. They will come back soon enough. Like 1 minute is short amount of time in Mythic Plus, so just use your cooldowns. And Power Runic Weapon is something that doesn't actually syncs very well with your other cooldowns, but you can hold it for a bit from time to time. You have to judge it on the move when it's most valuable. Like I did here, I used Army of the Dead, and I will have it at some point during the boss. It's always nice to use it somewhere in the damage increase phase. And of course, Empower Runic Weapon for the haste while we have Army up. So ideally it would be to drop down Defile and then Outbreak or Unholy Blight to spread the dots. But since we are slow, I sometimes just Outbreak when I'm walking towards the pack. You can, of course, I'm using a macro that drops Defile under me, but I have it on a separate button to manually put it. You can put it with a mouse over macro or just the regular way while you are walking towards the pack. For me, I don't think it really matters if you go first Outbreak and then Defile. Like a lot of time in packs, the tank will actually draw the ads away from you. You have to think where he will gather the pack and stop, so your Defile would be there. So I just prefer to wait a little bit and put it in. But yeah, you have to adapt the whole time. It's not super straightforward what and when. This is a very nice pull, by the way. Just get this to group with the boss. I believe it will work good in both Fortified and Tyrannical. When you have like a lot of ads in a boss fight, this is something I really like with Unholy Disease build, for example in Tights Dungeon, where you have a like moment when a lot of ads spawn. You just spread your dots, you keep your Defile optimally down for the mastery increase, and then you can just Epidemic without even moving, and you're just annihilating the ads without bothering for a position and to be in range of them. You'll see that in this fight as well, when the growths, the additional flowers come. If you have only 2 targets, you can just go Dead Coil, but at the point where you have 3 or more, swap it with Epidemic, spend your ring power on Epidemic. This is a boss fight, of course, so we have like a priority target here. You do use Festering Strike in your rotation to make up wounds and blow them, just like your regular Unholy rotation since quite a lot of patches. For a boss fight, if it's longer than 3 minutes, you can keep Army of the Dead will come around 3 minutes, 3 minutes 15, depends. So you can keep your empowering weapon for the second army. So that's a good moment to use our cooldowns, Army of the Dead. And I believe, yeah, here it is, the power infusion for the first time that run. The priest gave it to me. And yeah, I probably should have used the army like 15 seconds prior, because it ended up with 7-8 seconds left from it. Huge burst at the end, but it's fine. Here you can use some of our utility. If you dead grip the Berserker, he will stop Wormwinding. Like, there's an understanding that we lack a little bit of utility in M+, compared to other classes, and yeah, that might be true, but just check how, since the beginning of the run, like on this bowstring, people are getting, we have like 4 or 5 one-shot deaths so far, and we are so much like so much tankier than everyone else. Like with the stamina buff, I'm above 1 million HP right now, heavy armor and a ton of defensives, and that can really make the healer game easier and to concentrate on other stuff. So that should be taken into account before declining an Unholy Decay for your key. It's not only about damage, but our survivability is just very high. And there it is, the tank is scared to pull more rats here on bowstring. Because of that, people are just dying when something gets 5 times bowster. And we're gonna use Lust on a big pool in few packs from now, which I believe was maybe not necessary at this level, because we're just gonna melt it down. That I was just about to ramp, and everything ended. And the boss, the next boss, is just so annoying for low mobility classes. Like I think this is the boss I like the least from every dungeon this season. But yeah, let's skip a little bit and see. Yeah, there it is. And the Twisted Abomination, if he gets bolstered here and casts his AoE, it's pretty much a wipe. So we used everything here. I got the PI again, the power infusion. And Hunter just blasted them, and I was just about to start ramping above 1 million, and everything that but still, we ended up pushing it +2, so that's the most important. Yeah, it's at this point, look at this, I was late on the defile because I'm not sure, is he gonna run to the next pack and pull it or no? So I postponed it and just Scourge Strike to make the dot stick 100% faster to get the Black Bringer going. And on some occasions during the run, you might have already seen that I start doing my damage and roll up the other cooldowns like Apocalypse, Unholy Blight, etc. And Blackbringer is not up. That's due to the fact that I run into a pack and I click Scourge Strike, but you have to be in melee range. And sometimes I make a mistake thinking that I applied the Blackbringer. So tracking it like this with a weak aura, because it's also up here on your buffs. But that's hard to track really, so you need a separate weak aura for it. It's crucial to make damage on the disease build, because you might end up thinking that you have Blackbringer going on, which make your dots stick 100% faster. But you don't, because maybe you missed a Scourge Strike or you targeted a mob which is not in melee range, but just a little bit far away. Yeah, so next boss is nothing special. I suggest you use your defensives on cooldown, like not only on this boss, everywhere. It just brings so much value to the group in terms of survivability, healers, mana, and stress, and getting everyone else up faster. I'm just gonna skip a bit because this is so annoying boss. So that's the scary part in Fortified. I believe we wipe on the Pyromancer on the next poll, or was it a few polls after that on the next one? But you probably have to think in advance of what cooldowns are you saving for what. Of course, interrupt when it's needed, but yeah, that Pyromancer optimally shouldn't be bolstered, and yeah, that was bigger poll than intended, I think. I'm using some death strikes here to heal myself up. Yeah, that's the one. The healer got one shot. I combat rest him, but we won't stabilize, starting losing DPSs, and yeah, people started dying. Like I did everything, health pot. There's again a death strike. Think I survived for the most time, but still, that's a rough pack. On the next boss, we can leverage up our tankiness and survivability as well. Like on pull, you can directly use your defensives because the Cinder Bolt comes in just a few seconds. And you basically don't take damage while everyone else is almost dying. Like last week on around 21-22s without a very well prepared healer and everyone using their defensives at max, this was quite impossible for this level and bugs and stuff. As you can see here as example, my cooldowns are not well synchronized, so I just tend to wait a couple of seconds to synchronize them from here on. That's advance usually prevents you from getting thrown away here, which is also useful. And yeah, like I'm using Defile occasionally to get the mastery buff, but if that distracts you big time, or maybe you won't see some of the fire patches here, just be careful. Like I have 2 charges now, but I don't bother to. Okay, I just used one, but it's not the end of the world. If you won't lose much damage on single target. Like you probably do more damage if you're alive, so prioritize that. I believe I failed to mention that, but yeah, also while the fire is down, your Scourge Strike cleaves targets, which is super important. Like if you have runic power to throw away epidemics, you're doing your AoE, but at the time you start popping Scourge Strike, like right now, stepping in your Defile, just cleave every target in front of you. Heading towards the next boss. I won't have Army of the Dead for it at the beginning. At this last trash pack, I think I was using dead coils, yeah. And there are 3 targets, but I was using dead coils to just reduce the cooldown of Army of the Dead a little bit, but it's not enough to have it up on pool, but that's fine. I believe I end up highest damage on it. You just use it when it comes up, optimally with empowering rune weapon. So on bosses you can go Defile, Scourge Strike to buff up your dots, and yeah, then start rolling your cooldowns, apply dots with Unholy Blight, get Apocalypse out, get some Magus of the Dead. I believe I will be saving Abomination Limb here for some extra damage when the ad comes. Our 2 target cleave is pretty bad. We don't have improved dead coil on this build, so just hard swap on the ad when it comes up. Very important to kill it fast, and also your defensives are very strong here. Just use anti-magic shield when the ad is up, and boss basically on Tyrannico it's just insane. It requires so much healing. Seeing all kind of healers going out of mana here, so help them as much as you can. Use some dead strikes. At this point it's good to know if you go for finishing the boss or the ad. Always the ad is the better option, but at first I thought we were going for the boss and not killing this last ad. So yeah, that was it, the run. Finished up just above the hunter. He had some deaths. I did some mistakes during the run and stuff, but I would say the run was decent and maybe average for a puck group on the better side. Like I've seen in streams on 24/5s, Unholy's ending up 400k here. It's a bit inflated because of the last boss, and also if you go with the augmentation and the priests constantly gives you the power infusion, and especially when it's really needed and not just on cooldown, you easily are getting like 100,000 DPS more. Yeah, we ended up doing that Taudazar 23 with this group as well. After that, I've uploaded it separately. So here the damage bring down will come in just a second. Yeah, so it looks something like this. Look at that, our top damage 15%. I've seen it's varying from 13 to 16%. Is just our virulent block, the main dot, and epidemic from main target. Magus of the Dead is very strong. That's why it is important, and I have to improve myself on this to use Apocalypse whenever, and it doesn't need to be with 4 wounds on the target like it used to be. You can just pop it with 2, with 3. You usually have them, and yeah, the other dots as well. Something I forgot to mention at the beginning. I am using double embellishment, the blue silken one, which gives you mastery, which is actually not recommended. In crafted gear it's recommended to go with the versatility bracers, and for Mythic Plus gear you can go with the blue silken. But that I just wanted to experiment and have it 2 times. I have it I believe, yeah, on my ring and on my bracers. So that's how I'm always above 80 something mastery. Most of the time, nearly 90% mastery. And my sims suggest I need much more haste to actually increase damage, and I'm swapping around stuff right now. But in this run particularly, look at that. That's the buff zone of focus. Yeah, I'm checking out my Pip Emerald friend stats from the trinket. What uptime you have on crit bonus, on versatility bonus, on mastery bonus. But this one, zone of focus, I have 77% uptime, which is quite good. I've seen it go at maximum at 80% for the whole run. That's your versatility buff. So sometimes that requires me to opt for keeping that mastery up, which is additional thing to think, like using some death strikes, going into a pack with anti-magic shield, just to be sure that when I'm bursting I have my mastery buff. And yeah, you can play around that. I've seen it down up to 55%, which is totally worse than having the versatility bracers. But yeah, those are like small things. And overall, that is how I approach my keys for now. I'm having quite a blast, and I recommend, if you have a dead night or if you're thinking about it, just give it a try. Right now it's easy to gear up, use your catalyst smart, get your tier set bonus. It's very powerful, especially with the Magus of the Dead being your top 3 DPS with the set bonus. And yeah, there are plenty of very nice guides at this point. I'm sure you see that's not a beginner guide, and the basic rotation guide. I suggest you check Bites Swamp videos. They're quite nice. But I will be uploading videos like this and commentaries and all my runs. If you can steal some ideas, if you like something from my interface, I will be uploading it as well under the video for free. Everyone can have it and just have fun in World of Warcraft as an Unholy DK. Cheers, guys, and see you around.